Shri Radha Madhava ki jai, Radha Bhagavatam ki jai. So, Tatenu Kampam Susumikshamanam Bhujana. Actually, we'll speak about this a little later, but yesterday we spoke about intelligence. What actually the dictionary definition of intelligence is pretty like Buddhi. It's the same as Buddhi. It's just people are somehow here. I will speak about this a little later. But people are considering intelligence to be like a shrewdness or like smartness kind of. But actually, in the dictionary is discriminating power to adjust to a certain situations. This is intelligence, which is buddhi actually. I found even verse where Prabhupada speaks about it, but we can speak about this later. So we are continuing to read from Nectar of Transcendental Diary of Srila Prabhupada. He went on, Prabhupada. No, he went on to share some information about his youth and marriage. His mother planned to get him married by the age 17, but she died when he was only 14. And this is this? And this is about his business. We spoke about travel. But he was when she died, he was only 14, and he married at the age 22, when his wife was only 11. This is Prabhupada. Prabhupada married when he was 22, and his wife was 11 years old. Wow. This is the Vedic system, Prabhupada explained. The Vedic man is married by the age of 25, and the girls between 12 and 16. Early marriage means responsible citizens. Therefore, the parents arrange early marriages for their children in consultation with astrologers to see if two people were compatible. They thought that even if a boy was poor, if he was hardworking and from a good background, then he was acceptable. Of course, in every person's astrology chart it says if you're going to be rich or not. So if they saw he's going to make good money, so they will accept it. This is interesting, that like in proper Vedic society, in proper astrologer, they can actually see these things. They can see the details. If you are, what are you going to be? So in the same way, in sannyas, you can see there's a sannyas yoga. I'm not an expert in astrology, but there's a sannyas yoga. This is strong planet. Then you are qualified to you're qualified to take sannyas. So astrology is part of the Vedic culture, because even Krishna, when Krishna was born, astrologer came, and this astrologer Garga Muni not even saw Krishna's chart, what is he going to be, but he saw his previous lives. So this is a good astrologer. This is a very good astrologer. And so, because why is the previous life important? I went once to an Ayurvedic place in South India, in Udupi, and this doctor told me, he said, let me read your chart first. He said, if I see in your chart that you are meant to be sick, your karma, then I cannot cure you. And so he looked at it, he said, this is your karma, I cannot do anything for you. Which is very honest. He could have charged me lots of money for nothing. So this is an interesting point, that the proper astrologers, they can see, are you going to be sick, are you going to be single, are you going to be married, how many times you're going to be married, when you're going to die. They can see everything actually in reality. As Prabhupada, they saw that Prabhupada will be richer than Birla. Birla at that time was the richest family in India. By far, nobody was as rich as Birla family. Now there's some other families also. But so Prabhupada was thinking, oh, I'm going to make lots of money by doing my business. So Prabhupada started doing this business, with medicine and stuff, and somehow everything collapsed. So I can imagine Prabhupada was thinking, what happened to my Birla, what happened to my Birla experience? But later on, Prabhupada actually did become rich as Birla. It just is in a different way. And just like in a different way, as somebody looks around past life, and for example, most of the devotees, when they go to an astrologer, the astrologer tells them, "Oh, you were in your past life, you were a big king, or you were a great Vaishnava, or you were living in the holy place," and you think like, "Oh, I must be some amazing personality. You gave lots of charity." But in the reality, we may be a mouse, which we saw yesterday. Did you actually get the second mouse? Yeah. Oh. Poor mouse. So we may be a mouse in the temple, Shishi Vijayagaraja, who somehow ate some remnants of the devotees' prasadam. You know, as yesterday also he ate some in the plate. So then he became a devotee next life. But he said, "Oh, you were living in the temple your past life." And he said, "Yes, I was a great devotee." But in general, it is good to know also because we all carry something from our past lives, and depends what kind of burden are we carrying. So it's good to know. Ilman says, of course, the Prabhupada says for the devotees, this is not so important because, he said Prabhupada said with one clap of hand, we change all these things. So, but at the same time, it's not bad to know sometimes. So I personally, my stake is I let it Krishna. When somebody said, "I want to look at your chart," so I just let it. So it's like sometimes it's also Krishna speak. It's not like now astrology is completely not working. Krishna also speak through astrology. Krishna speak through other things. So you just have to kind of see this is Krishna's arrangement. But anyway, so this is the point here. What Prabhupada says. Uh, that Prabhupada was about to get married when he was 25 years old. And, for marriage also there's this compatibility. If the husband and wife is not compatible, then it's not going to work anyways. If the boy and girl are astrologically incompatible, then they should not get married because just for the nature of the two people. So therefore, here the children is consultation with the astrologers, Prabhupada said, to see if the two people were compatible. So astrology is, as we saw the other week, I was talking about the Vedas. Astrology is an Upaveda section. It's how do you say it? Upaveda means like a younger of lower Veda, meaning is a part of the Vedas, but it's like addition to the Vedas. So even the boy if was poor, if he was hardworking and from a good background, he was accepted. Prabhupada said that his grandfather's brother-in-law was very poor, but because he was a good worker, his mother-in-law secretly gave him 500 rupees, a large amount of that time, to begin a business. He started a lace-making business and became a very rich man and prominent landlord in Calcutta, and even had a road named after him. Prabhupada concluded with a laugh, good family life, that is the materialist's desire. Lace is as I understand, like a rope, some kind of thing. Laces are the shoes, schnur. But I don't know, again, in Prabhupada, what does it mean in that time, Calcutta lace? It's in English, British, probably rope business. This is what I think. Because they needed lots of rope at that time, I guess. So this is all what I wanted to say about Prabhupada this time. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswati vyasam tato jayamudirayet nashtaprayesha baddeshu nitya bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati nashtiki. Actually, in some temples, I think there was in Hungary, in Budapest temple, they have a Srimad Bhagavatam on the altar. And before the lecture, this is called ceremony. They take the Bhagavatam from the altar. And the ceremony, they put it in front of the speaker reads, and they put it back on the altar. Which is, I think, very nice to actually honor, the Srimad Bhagavatam, also showing the importance of Bhagavatam. Because Bhagavatam in the Kali Yuga is the light that gives direction to the people in darkness. So it's a very important, actually, scripture. It's the most important Bhagavad Purana. So we should all, every time we read Srimad Bhagavatam in the morning, we should remember this. Offer obeisance to the Narada Rishi, to Vyasadeva, to all the, parampara, that we actually have this opportunity to read this great literature. So today we'll read from the sixth canto, 18th chapter, verse 48. Napsusnaya nakupyata. Napsusnaya nakupyata. Nasambasheta durjanai. Nasambasheta durjanai. Navasita Dautavasa. Navasita Dautavasa. Srajam cha vidritam kvachit. Srajam cha vidritam kvachit. Napsusnaya nakupyeta. Nasambasheta dujanai. Navisita Dautavasa. Srajam cha vidritam kvachit. Napsusnaya kupyeta. Nasambaseta durjanai. Navasita Dautavasa. Let's. Napsusnaya kupyeta. Nasamaseta durjanai. Nasita Dautavasa. Srajam chavidritam kvachit. Na, not. Apsu, in water. Snayat, must bathe. Nakupieta, must not become angry. Nasambasheta, must not speak. Durjanai, with wicked persons. Navasita, must not wear. Ad- Adhautavasa, unwashed clothes. Srajam, flower garland. cha, and vidritam, which was already worn, kvachit, ever. So this is the continuation. Kashyapa Muni is instructing his wife what tapasya she should do. Kashyapa Muni continued, "My dear gentle wife, never enter the water while bathing, never be angry, and do not even speak or associate with wicked people. Never wear clothes that have not been properly washed, and do not put on a garland that has already been worn." So no purport, we read the Vaita 680, sorry, 49. Yeah. Yeah, so you bathe like this. You don't go inside the water. You bathe with the bucket. You don't enter the water. You're standing. This is to me at least logical, isn't it? Never enter the water. I don't enter inside of the water. I'm standing there and I bathe. But this is the instruction, not enter the water. You can just stand there, take the bucket from the well, and take your lota and bathe. You don't enter the water. Yes, but this is not instruction. This is not the general instruction. This is instruction to particular to her. This is not instruction for us. This is instruction to her for this, what she wanted to achieve. And he gave her instructions. In the Nectar devotion, actually, let me find this. This is a very interesting point, actually, to make since we are making this point. Srila Rupa Goswami has written Nectar devotion. Let me see. How to discharge devotional service. Um, here. So he gives 64 items. Rupa Goswami is giving 64 items. So, number 2, accepting initiation from a spiritual master and receiving instruction from him. So, Kashyapa Muni is acting as a spiritual master of his wife, and he tells her, don't enter the water, don't do this and that, don't wear the clothes. So, Prabhupada says there, basically, one should follow the instructions of spiritual master, and if the what kind of instructions spiritual master gives, this is a detail, but the main subject is to accept the instruction of spiritual master. So some spiritual master may say, I want you to chant 64 rounds a day, but the other spiritual master said, I want you to write a book. Like yesterday, we heard Ramanujacharya gave instruction to his disciple. So the main point is to follow the instruction of spiritual master. So in this case, this is her instruction. This is not not for us. Of course, we can also take, but we never had this. This is not the general Vaishnava instruction. We should never enter the water. Anyways, next verse, 49. Nochishtam chandikanam cha samisham drishalarchiritam bujjito dakyaya drishtam piben nanjalita tvapaha. Never eat leftover food. Then in Hare Krishna movement, we will be throwing all the time. Never eat prasad offered to the goddess Kali. We don't eat prasad. And do not eat anything contaminated by flesh or fish. Do not eat anything brought or touched by Shudra, nor anything seen by a woman in her menstrual period. Do not drink water by joining your palms. I drink all the time water by joining my palms. Purport. Generally, the goddess Kali is offered food containing meat and fish, and therefore Kashyapa Muni strictly forbade his wife to take the remnants of such food. Actually, a Vaishnava is not allowed to take any food offered to the demigod. A Vaishnava is always fixed in accepting prasad offered to Lord Vishnu. Through all these instructions, Kashyapa Muni, in a negative way, instructed his wife Didi how to become a Vaishnavi. Again, we have to understand that we have our certain standards because this is our standards of our sampradaya. And there are other sampradayas, also bona fide Vaishnava sampradayas, Shri Rudra, what else? Nimbarka. There's other three sampradayas which are also bona fide, and they may chant a little different mantras. They may have a little bit different, slightly different philosophy, but they're bona fide Vaishnava sampradayas. And this Kashyapa Muni, he was not, this is like considering thousands of years ago, and I don't know, this is even in the planet Earth, probably not. So he gives the instruction. So this is like, we have to consider time, place, and circumstance. Again, as I said yesterday, it's just in this grammatical rule. This what is latest is the closest to us, so therefore we should accept this rule, latest rule. So in the same way, we have our sampradaya is the latest, Srila Prabhupada is the latest acharya, and the instructions are the latest instructions, and these are our instructions. And for these others, we accept it, we respect it, but we take it, the final opinion, we take it from Srila Prabhupada, and his own instructions in this case. So Prabhupada never instructed us to not enter the waterfall gate. He himself was actually entering Remuna. There's a video. So this is just one small point. Purport. Oh, sorry, I didn't. Translation. After eating, what did I? Oh, this is a different. So this is a different verse. I'm looking at a different verse here. Yes. So we go to the next verse now. Verse 50. Nochishta sprishta salila sanyayakam mukta murdaja anarchita samyata vak na samvita bhakischare. After eating, you should not go out to the street without having washed your mouth, hands, and feet. You should not go out in the evening or with your hair loose, nor should you go out unless you are properly decorated with ornaments. You should not leave the house unless you are very grave and are sufficiently covered. So when you go out on the street, you should be very grave. This is for her again. Purport. Kashyapa Muni advised his wife not to go out on the street unless she was well decorated and well dressed. He did not encourage the miniskirts that have now become fashionable. In Oriental civilization, when a woman goes out on the street, she must be fully covered so that no man will recognize who she is. All these methods to be accepted for purification. If one takes to Krishna consciousness, one is fully purified, and thus one remains always transcendental to the contamination of the material world. So this is, I stopped here. Mama Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurudvita Yena Tasma Shri Shri Chaitanya Manavishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadama Yam Dadati Swarapadantikam. So from this in general, what I could deduce, we can say, is I want to speak about one point, and this is the Vaishnava clothing, so-called Vaishnava clothing. Because there is no such a thing as Vaishnava clothing. There's no Shastric rule one should wear so and so and such clothes, such and such clothes. And throughout the years, throughout the decades, throughout the centuries, there are different influences, and people wear different clothes. It is said actually the original, what is described in the Shastra in Vedic times, in India, people wore traditionally dhoti, and men wore chadar, and no upper top because India is always hot and warm. And women wore also sari and also some cloth. There was no like cholis as they wear now. There was a different kind of clothes. So because this was a simpler, even outside of India, people wore clothes like this. Greeks, Arabs, they all wore this one piece of cloth. This was the people what they wore before. As the time progressed, the Westerners, now we wear pants, coat and pants, jackets, and whatever things. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was the first one to actually break this, we can say, traditional For example, the sannyas should wear unsewn cloth. If you actually be a sannyasi, you're not supposed to wear sewn cloth. Nothing which is sewn. So he just started wearing a coat. This is his famous picture of Bhaktisiddhanta wearing this coat. And also he was wearing shoes. This was also unheard of. Unheard of. Sannyasi actually should wear no shoes, barefoot. You see that in Madhvacharya, if you watch this film, Madhvacharya, it's actually a very good film. This film is written strictly in according to this book of Madhvacharya called Madhva Vijaya, the life of Madhvacharya. So it's very strict. It's not like no film is actually what really happened according to the book, authorized. And Madhvacharya was always wearing barefoot, always walking barefoot throughout whole India, barefoot, and just sannyas clothes, meaning one dhoti and one cloth and danda, and that's it, and kamandal. So they went even to the Himalayas in the mountains. They just went like this, no shoes. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was the first to actually start wearing shoes. And we see this picture, he was wearing these fancy shoes. So the reason is the Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati understood the mission of Lord Chaitanya, which is actually to spread Krishna consciousness. Spreading Krishna consciousness is more important than following the strict observance of the previous Vedic culture, Vedic standards. So he even introduced this the traveling Sankirtan, you can say. First traveling Sankirtan. The first traveling Sankirtan, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati bought this very expensive car and put up all the devotees in the car, brahmacharis and sannyasis, and went throughout Calcutta and Kirtan, Hare Krishna. Because in that time, nowadays they will not be heard because there's so much traffic, so much noise. But at that time, I don't think there was many cars at that time on the streets, and there was very unusual sight: car full of brahmacharis and sannyasis singing Hare Krishna, going around Calcutta. So that's what we very shocking. The sannyasis are actually sitting in a car. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, you can say, broke this rule for the sake of spreading the Krishna consciousness. So therefore, when Prabhupada went, also another thing is sannyasi not supposed to leave India. In reality, not supposed to cross the ocean. It's forbidden somewhere in the Shastra. And Bhaktisiddhanta sent his disciples, sannyas disciples, to England. He also came to Germany. Don Maharaj came to Germany in the 30s, early 30s. And so when Prabhupada came, Prabhupada was not, you can say that this thing was already broken. So Prabhupada just continued this mission of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati in a way he saw it logical. Prabhupada was he used all kinds of vehicles. They used vehicles. They used publishing books. They used all kinds of preaching, radio, TV. So this is all like unheard of before. It was already done by Bhaktisiddhanta, so he could just spread the Krishna consciousness movement. So, but one thing what I wanted to say a little bit today is that particular thing Prabhupada, although he broke, you can say, many traditional things, there are certain things Prabhupada kept it, and Bhaktisiddhanta has also kept it. And this is, we always chant Hare Krishna, we don't chant some other mantras. Prabhupada established certain standards which cannot go down, like a temple standard, offering vegetarian food, lacto-vegetarian food, not certain things, no intoxication, no gambling, and certain things, no illicit sex. So Prabhupada established this. He even allowed grihastas to live in the temple as long as there's no like a grihamedi situation. So grihamedi means gross sense gratification. So Prabhupada was a little more, even more lenient than Bhaktisiddhanta, but still there's some standards that he did not change. And these standards are, for example, wearing so-called Vaishnava clothes. Because again, there's no strict rule what is the Vaishnava clothes. In the times of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, everybody was wearing clothes what they were wearing. It's not like they now suddenly they joined the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and suddenly they bought a new dhoti or something. They were just who they are. The only thing if they were renunciates, like Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami, they tore clothes what they have and just became they simplified their life. This is the real, you can say, what Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami did is not that they now suddenly accept Babaji like we nowadays you can accept Babaji initiation and you get this Vesha, Babaji Vesha cloth that you can beg. They actually just thought we should just be as simple as possible so that we don't waste time on other things except developing Vrindavan down and also writing books. So they just simplify simple cloth. We know simple cloth is very easy to wash and very easy to dry in India. So you don't need really anything. And so they just even the big businessmen we know the what is his name Mr. Apple, Steve Jobs wore only gray t-shirts. He could wear he was the richest man. He could wear any clothes he wants. And he just wear a gray t-shirt because why they asked him? He said because or black t-shirt. Anyways, one of those dark gray or black t-shirt. He said because he didn't want to get distracted by clothes. Because every day to wear clothes, oh, do I like this? Then you have to go shopping. There's so much waste of time, according to him. So Bennett, he orders like probably 100 pieces of t-shirts, and he just wear t-shirts constantly, same t-shirt. So he doesn't need to bother with this. So this is the principle behind it. Why the Goswamis wear nothing, because they don't want to deal with it. So Prabhupada, he brought this also culture of wearing dhotis and saris. Not he wanted, but his disciples were wearing dhotis and kurtas, and his female disciples were wearing saris. Prabhupada even himself, when he went to India, when he came back, he brought some saris for the Mataji. Because I've read some quotations of Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada says, Vaishnavas accept that Krishna Leelas are eternally unfolding in some of the universes. So Krishna Leela is going on all the time. That means that the dress of Krishna, what he wore, and the culture he lived is not an Indian culture, it is his culture. So when we wear clothes like we wear saris or we wear dhotis, we don't wear Indian clothes, we wear Krishna's clothes. Because Krishna wore these kind of clothes, Prabhupada says here. It is not that in our universe he happened to appear near New Delhi. So therefore, because he appeared in New Delhi, he wore the dhoti. It's the other way around. This is the whole point. The other way around, Krishna, because Krishna appeared there, the New Delhi people wear dhotis at that time, at least. So it's not, Prabhupada said, it's not like in this universe, because he appeared in New Delhi, he wears dhoti, and in next universe, because he appears in some other place, he wears jeans, Prabhupada says. He says, this is not so. So it's completely the other way around. He says, whatever, Krishna appears in different universes, in different historical periods, but he always wears the same dress. So it is not an Indian dress, it is his own eternal dress. It is not an Indian culture, it is his own culture. So this is the one thing to understand. Why are we wearing these saris? Why are we wearing dhotis? Of course, again, it could be influence. Kurta, they said the Muslims influence kurta. I can imagine this, especially nowadays when you see, when the wedding, the Indian wedding, there is kurta below the knees. I cannot. I think this is Muslims wear this. But anyways, the point is here. This particular kind of clothes is because Krishna wore this kind of clothes. So Prabhupada particularly wanted his disciples, sannyasis, to wear these clothes. One devotee says, but the robes make people uncomfortable, Prabhupada. When we wear robes, people are a little bit uncomfortable. He said, they see you as different and I cannot relate. He said, they will not relax enough when they speak to me. Prabhupada says, But sannyasis must dress in saffron with robes and shaved head. They must. Then this devotee, Tushta Krishna, said, I'm following all the principles, but the dress is external and superficial. Why should we let this disturb our preaching? I'm following the principles, I'm speaking the philosophy. Why should the clothes disturb our preaching? Prabhupada says, if the dress is superficial, why should you change your dress to please the people who are so serious about the superficial? Meaning, if people see the dress is superficial, why should you change to please these people? This was Prabhupada. Prabhupada's mood was always never to please the public. As this famous statement, I did not come to please. I did not come here to please the Americans. I came here to please my spiritual master. So Prabhupada said, superficial people become controlled by superficial and external things. Why do you dress to please superficial people? You should dress to please Krishna. So dressing like this pleases Krishna. So Tushta Krishna says, so would you would like me to wear saffron and shave up? Prabhupada said, yes. I want you to promise this. Only wear a saffron and keep your head shaved. This is sannyas dress. You should promise. Tushta Krishna said, yes, Prabhupada, I promise. So Prabhupada wanted sannyasis to dress this way. So, sometimes they said Prabhupada did not want. Prabhupada wanted. So for the Grihastas, Prabhupada was not so strict. He said, if you present yourself as a gentleman, dress nice clothes, main thing you should always have is tilak and shikha. This is for the men. You should always have tilak, even if you dress in a so-called, we call it karmi clothes, because Prabhupada actually called them karmi clothes. You should dress tilak and shikha. So this is not, you can say, compulsory. Prabhupada says for the grihastas, not compulsory. But at the same time, when Prabhupada was, this is very, very early, 1967, and Prabhupada, he had only one temple at that time, maybe two, but maybe in San Francisco, but one temple in New York, and he went to Vrindavan to show, he came to Kirtanananda to show his first disciple to his god brothers, and to give him sannyas in Vrindavan. He wanted to, this was like I can imagine, the Prabhupada was very proud, he bring his first Western sannyasi. So he wanted Kirtanananda to dress in suit and tie. And there was a summertime, I think, and this suit and tie was flannel, this very hot plastic. So he says Kirtanananda was boiling, but Prabhupada wanted him to be dressed like an American gentleman. So he gave him sannyas, first sannyas in Iskcon. He told him, go to, I think, Montreal and start a center there. And instead, Kirtanananda, he did some really crazy thing. He went back to, instead of following the instruction of Prabhupada, he went back to New York. And he told the Prabhupada, he instead of being dressed in sannyas clothes, he was dressed as a Christian priest, black with the collar. And he cut his sikh off. And he said, Prabhupada told me that this is how you should dress from now on. Because the people cannot understand these clothes, but this they can understand, so therefore we should all dress like this. So Brahmananda was surprised. He was the first temple president. At that time, nobody knew anything. It was just 67, very early. So Brahmananda wrote to Prabhupada, and Prabhupada was very adamant. So this is one of the letters of the exchange to Damodar. This is Damodar. I'm due receipt of your letter on October 9. I'm very sorry to hear that Kirtanananda is advising you to give up the robes and flags. Flags is Sikha on the head. Please stop these nescience, as I never instructed Kirtanananda to act like this. So these are nescience, it's the darkness. I am not at all satisfied with this action of Kirtanananda. Kirtanananda has no right to instruct you in that way without consulting me. People have been attracted to the chanting of Hare Krishna and not to Kirtanananda's devices. So as much as people say it doesn't matter how I dress, the mantra is important. So Prabhupada used it in reverse. If it doesn't matter how you dress, then one should dress this way. No. The argument, one of the argument is that if we dress in a normal clothes and we sing Hare Krishna, the mantra is the one which acts. But Prabhupada said, if it doesn't matter at all, if the mantra is important, then it doesn't matter if I dress like this, people will still accept it. And we see in the beginning of the movement, it was a little more difficult to be dressed in dhoti and sari. Nowadays, I don't think anybody gives a damn. On the contrary, if they see that you're wearing something, that means you are standing for something. That means that you are showing to the world, I belong to this, I have faith in this. And people respect this, actually. People do respect. One devotee told me, Krishna Paramarupa Prabhu from Zurich, he goes often to the interreligious dialogues with different religions. So for many years, I don't know, many years, every year there are meetings and he knows all the priests and whatever they are. And then one year he thought, let me go in a karmic clothes, just to. So when he arrived, they were all shocked. He said, what are you doing? And he said, I wanted to show to doesn't it's not important. He said, no, you should wear your clothes. They were upset. You should wear your clothes because that shows that you are standing behind what you're talking about. I thought it was a very good lesson for us also, that we should stand for who we are and what we are, and that's what it is. Sometimes again, for the preaching purposes, okay, we can dress differently. But mainly it doesn't matter really in reality. Because if you would come a priest from Japan, the Buddhist priest, everybody will receive it. I was in Goloka Dham some 2-3 years ago. There was this Prabhu, I forgot his name. He was an Iskcon devotee, he's not Iskcon devotee anymore, but he's doing some kind of big yoga preaching in Japan. And he has thousands of followers apparently. And he's dressed in dhoti and kurta. He wears this yellow kurta like you color and dhoti. And that's all he does. So he came to the university, they organized some kind of, and all the professors, some, not all, but few professors came and he spoke to them just like that. And they're all like writing notes and asking, meaning he's an authentic person. He wears these clothes. So this is the point here that we have to stand for who we are. Another thing here, as Prabhupada says here, Kirtananda suggested to me when he was here that Americans do not like robes and sita. I told him personally, if you think that Americans in great numbers will follow you simply for not having robes and flag, therefore advise him to drop for a few days in London and test his theory. This is a Prabhupada's very good point. If you believe that people don't, your clothes are, disturbing people, go to London and check it out. And if you have thousands of followers, Prabhupada would accept it. So this is one of the, you can say, I don't want to say criticism, but we have in our movement this, I don't know how valid it is still, this so-called Krishna West. And one of the arguments, I think they started like 15 years ago. One of the arguments is because if you're wearing clothes, or this so-called devotional clothes, then people are distracted. But if you wear normal clothes, civilian clothes, or what people wear in the street, then you will be attracting much more people. So there are some bombastic predictions, the millions of people will come to practice. And now 15 years later, what are the results? So Palena Parichiyate, where are the results? Not many, almost none. So the point here, as Prabhupada gave to Kirtananda, check it, test few days and see how it works. So devotees, he also advised devotees, if you distributing books, you can dress in a normal gentleman clothes. And devotees tested and it works. So Prabhupada did not say, oh, you should not wear clothes. No, wear and they distributed thousands or millions of books. So this is no problem. So Prabhupada says further in this very same letter, I advise him to go to London and test his theory. But he has gone directly to New York, and now he's causing the disturbances without consulting me. I have not sanctioned these methods. In my opinion, clean-shaved brahmacharis and grihastas in saffron robes look like angels from Vaikuntha. In his opinion, Prabhupada's opinion. Translation of prayers into English is good, and when somebody dresses like nice American gentlemen without any robes, I have no objection. But every one of my disciples must have the sika and marks of tilak on their forehead. So this is what Prabhupada says. If you can preach, nice. So Prabhupada's not stuck, you could say. Whatever it is, Hare Krishna. So this is the point of Srila Prabhupada. And Prabhupada was also very proud of his not changing the dress. When he came to America, they told him, he said, some of his people he knew from India, they said, they told me to change dress. He said, the Ramakrishna says, unless you dress yourself, you cannot do anything. Prabhupada said, my business life, I was dressing like that, but now I have no money. You give me. I told him, so basically, they told him, unless you check, like there's some other previous preachers came to India, to America, and they changed. They were proud that they started eating with a fork and everything and dressed. And Prabhupada says, I never wanted to be like this. The Prabhupada was not much into this. And one of the reasons the Prabhupada says this is a very good point for the devotees. So far, the dress is concerned, the dress is immaterial, of course. The mantra is the real important. When we die, we don't die in this clothes or that clothes. It doesn't matter. Actually, I was once in India. This is 2004, and one disciple of Bhakti Vikash Maharaj has left the body, brahmachari. So this was very, very nice devotee, and I think I spoke this. I spent some time with him, the last moments, and this was very enlivening. He was so dedicated. Only after 8 years, he was very young. He was 28 years old. Joined when he was 20, and 8 years full-time Bhakti Sumitra. And I guarantee that he went back to Gauradesh. He was very fixed up and no nonsense, very convinced. And then when he left the body, I was with Bhakti Vikash Maharaj in the room, and the telephone rang. Maharaj answered the phone, and the devotee asked Maharaj, "We are preparing for the carrying to Yamuna to burn it. What cloth should we put on the palanquin? Should we put white because this is the actual Vaishnava color, or should we put saffron because he was a brahmachari?" And Maharaj said, "What does it matter? He's dead anyways." I thought it was so funny. He's dead. I thought it was, but this is the point. This is the point. When we die, what does it matter? Did I wear this color or that color, or did I wear pants, or did I wear this clothes or that clothes? What matters is actually our consciousness, and did we actually, chant Hare Krishna when we die? But Prabhupada says, so the clothes is immaterial, but as a soldier, you know that every soldier has got a uniform dress according to the army etiquette and regulation. Therefore, the army of Krishna consciousness must have at least the tilak on forehead in all conditions. For your business, you can wear your naval uniform. Similarly, if you have a tilak on your forehead as a soldier of Krishna, so on and so forth. So we identify as the soldiers of Krishna consciousness. We identify as devotees of Prabhupada. So therefore, when we go in Harinam, the Mataji's dressed in sari, they dress like this, and everybody knows we know we are the Hare Krishnas, they know we are the Hare Krishnas. So this is another thing. The Vaishnava is one who always reminds people of Krishna. So when we go in dress like this, this is the Hare Krishnas. So you're automatically preaching. At the same time, you remind yourself who you are and what are you doing. I'm the Hare Krishna. You cannot behave to be this and that, because everybody knows that you are Hare Krishna. So you have to be a Hare Krishna devotee, which is very good. So, what else we have here? Householders Prabhupada may wear dhotis in the temple or as they like, but not the saffron color. They may wear white, yellow, or whatever, the householders. Outside of temple, they may wear American gentleman's dress with tilak, flag, and beads. It is not required to wear dhotis as the society does not understand. So outside the temple dress, suit is more acceptable socially. If they desire, but for the ceremony, they can dress in dhotis for kirtan. So this is what most of the grahastas do. We go out, people who work, you don't go out in dhoti, you go out, your normal clothes, and there's a kirtan, Sunday feast, you come and dressed in a dhoti, which I think is very nice because then you change, by changing the clothes, it's also psychological. You change your mindset. Now I'm a Hare Krishna devotee. I'm not that thing anymore. So this is the one thing. This is the one point I wanted to make. Any questions so far? Yes. Oh, there's more. Sorry? And clothes. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Somehow, Prabhupada said, somehow or other, by hook or by crook, you should distribute book. Prabhupada says, somehow or other, by hook or by crook, you should distribute book. If you feel more comfortable in non-sari, just distribute books. And if young girls feel more comfortable sari, they can do in books in saris. Like, some devotees like to do in dhotis, book distribution. Some devotees do sometimes in dhotis. Like when we went to in Potterstein, you were there in Austria? No. When we did Padayatra last September. No. We did all in Dhoti all day. So all day you go Harinam and book distribution in Dhoti all day. So some devotees, nobody really had a problem with this, But if you go alone on book distribution, that's a little bit different. If you go in group, if you do a Ratha Yatra, then it's like nice to wear dhoti. Then you say, "Oh, look at these people. We are doing this and that," and they're like, "Oh, really?" But if you go all alone, then maybe it's better, whatever makes you feel comfortable. There's no rule. Prabhupada allowed devotees to not wear. And tilak, I don't know, tilak, you can put the water tilak, but tilak, if it's like tilak, people will say, "What is this yellow thing on your forehead?" So this is I think the worse than wearing the sari actually, because women are wearing skirts. Just distribute book. Yeah, just book, if you're distributing books, just distribute books, and that's really the most important. And then you come here, you dress in sari, you see the deity, you come for program. Again, this is not this. What we are doing this is a very nice article of Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Maharaj. Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Maharaj was a disciple of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj, godbrother of Srila Prabhupada. He was very favorable to Srila Prabhupada, and he gave Prabhupada sannyas. He was his sannyas guru, we can say. He wrote this very nice article, which I really like. And this is actually a letter or an article. It's a dear recipient of my affection, means my disciples. Bhakti is not at all provincial, province, meaning bhakti is not meant only for one province. Swayam Bhagavan is beyond the time and space. Only that consciousness which is transcendental to time and space can attain him. Meaning, Swayam Bhagavan Krishna is beyond any time or any space. It doesn't belong to any geographical location. And it's only that consciousness which is transcendental to time and space can attain. So the teachings of Mahaprabhu are not within our time or place. Even though some Mahajanas, our acharyas, out of the mercy for the residents of Bengal, has written some scriptures in Bengali, it is not correct to consider those Mahajanas Bengalis. So, we have we were singing the other day, Narottam Das Thakur songs, all in Bengali, so we can pronounce sometimes not good, sometimes not good. But the point there is that these acharyas are not Bengalis. These acharyas are actually transcendental personalities beyond material time and space. It's just they descended to this particular area and they spoke this particular language. So therefore, but the people should not misidentify that they are Bengalis. Only Bhakti Prayaksha Maharaj said, only the Prema Dharma of Srimad Mahaprabhu will bring peace, friendship, and love to the whole world. So this is actually what are we doing? We are spreading this Prema Dharma, love, the Dharma of love of Krishna. This is what we are doing. So this can transcend this. He said this will bring peace, friendship, and love to the whole world. No country has achieved peace through political means. Political thought is ordinary and provincial. Again, segregated. We see this country, this is our country, this is it, this is, as is sustained through gross materialism and thus temporarily. The Dharma of Sri Mahaprabhu is the Dharma of the soul. It is not mundane. The body and mind are both inert matter. To remain confined within them is indeed bondage. So meaning if you stay within the bodily platform, this is the bondage. You are committed and intelligent person, therefore be established in the eternal Nitya Dharma. There is no need to remain situated in a non-spiritual Dharma. This is a very nice instruction that we should, because even sometimes we are getting carried away and we forget this. The reality is we are not German devotees, Indian devotees, or Bengali devotees. Actually, this is beyond any material concept. What are we practicing? Because everything on this bodily concept is actually keeping us on the bodily platform. So therefore, we should always not forget this. That we are actually practicing, as he called Prema Dharma. This is a very nice way to actually present Prema Dharma. So for this, we need to have a faith. First, we have to understand. And to develop faith, I will cut a little bit, we have to develop the intelligence. Now coming to the last point here. And intelligence in a dictionary, it says, number one, this is a regular standard dictionary, the ability to learn, understand, or deal with new or trying situations. So there's some situations coming, and how do we react to these situations? This is called intelligence. And number two, the ability to apply knowledge to manipulate one's environment or to think abstractly as measured by objective criteria. Meaning there's some criteria and you measure, you decide things and manipulate your environment. I want to go there, I will sit here, I will the snake, I will. So this is actual intelligence. And only number three is a mental acuteness. But in the modern world, in this world, intelligence means how much can I remember, how much can I speak fast or speak, good speaker or whatever, IQ, so-called IQ. This is considered intelligence. But here, even this is a dictionary, a regular, normal dictionary. And in Bhagavad Gita 18:30, there's a very good, it's called Buddhi. This is actually called Buddhi in Sanskrit. Pravritim cha, nivritim cha, karya karya bhaya bhaya, banda moksham chaya veti, Buddhi saparta sattviki. So Krishna tells Arjuna, the understanding by which one knows what is ought to be done, what ought not to be done. Karya akarya. So what is to be done? This is the intelligence. What is to be feared? Bhaya abhaya. So karya karya bhaya bhaya. Bandha moksham chayaveti. What is bounding? What is bandha? What is moksha? What is liberating? And buddhi sapartha sattviki. This buddhi is a sattviki buddhi, meaning this buddhi is intelligence in the mode of goodness, because there, as we know, the Vedic culture, the Vedic philosophy, don't have only one intelligence, but there are three types of intelligence. Intelligence mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of ignorance. And this is the intelligence mode of goodness is the closest to bring us to the spiritual intelligence. So it has to be the intelligence means what is what is to be done, what is not to be done, what is to be what is to be feared, what is not to be feared. This is a very important point. You can never have in the in the Western ways of understanding that spiritually what is to be feared. What you do and what you speak is two different things. They can speak about world peace, whatever, and they can after this they drink alcohol or whatever. Let's celebrate, drink alcohol, and eat some nice cow meat. So this is not separated here. What is to be feared, what is not to be feared. So I thought if we develop this kind of intelligence, then we will be able to discriminate um, how to proceed in our spiritual life. And this is called Madhyamadikari. Madhyamadikari is a devotee who actually can discriminate properly who is a devotee, who is a not devotee, who is a friend, who is a not friend, who should be avoided, which are the demons, and who is the innocent that we can be merciful to. So this is the actually Madhyamadikari, and this our movement. Prabhupada wanted our movement be made of Madhyamadikaris, not of Kanishta Adhikaris. Because Kanishta Adhikaris, they cannot discriminate properly, they will usually make a mess. So if you leave Kanishta Adhikaris to lead the movement, they will just become a mess. So Madhyamadikari is the proper, and then from Madhyamadikaris, devotees can progress further to the Uttamadikari, and but this is the personal. This is not on the institutional level. But Uttamadikari is the personal thing, because even if somebody becomes Uttamadikari, they should act as their Madhyamadikari. This is what Prabhupada. He said even Bhagavad Gita says the what is that the verse? One should the sacrifice charity should never be given up, even in the liberated state. So Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for your attention. Yes. A little different is not to speak of Krishna. Yeah. Why Krishna has tilak? I never thought about this. I don't know. Krishna has a tilak. This. Sorry. Radharani also has it. Radharani doesn't have this tilak. This is interesting. She has a different. I don't know. Actually, maybe we can look to it. Anybody knows? I don't know. We can look to it. This is true. Krishna has a tilak. Many mother. I heard from Radhesham Prabhuji lecture. He told that our forehead never should be empty. Like you should apply something. Vibhuti or kumkum or tilak, everything. Yes. Why Krishna had, I don't know. Well, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati said that if devotees don't wear tilak, their face is like a crematorium. So so. This is up to you. Everybody has each devotee, especially the Grihastas, they have their own ways of surrendering and the level of surrendering to Krishna. Some people, if you see the pictures of these big sadhus, they all have like so many tulsis here, big tilaks here, because they feel like this way. They feel that way. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in his book called Jaiva Dharma, there's a discussion, and this is when sannyasi, Mayavadi sannyasi, became devotee of Vaishnava devotee. So he said, he went to this Babaji and he said, please make me to look like you because he was wearing saffron and Vaishnavas they were only white. He said, please make me look like you. And Babaji said to him, no, you should actually practice this process. And when you feel from inside, when you change inside, the external will also change. Yes. So whatever we have in our heart, this will change. You know, this will manifest. You know, sometimes we see devotees have little beard here or whatever. You know, some hair here or some special black glasses or because this is how they feel inside. They feel want to be cool, you know, or earrings or nose ring, whatever, you know. This is how they feel. But the other devotees, they are simple and they want to they just wear tilak. They wear home and home only tilak and dhoti. And as soon as they come from work, they immediately take shower and put the dhoti on and put tilak. And different devotees, you know, different devotees, different convictions. I don't know. I don't know Muslim world. In Moshe, of course. So the same thing, yes. I don't know. This is we have a different devotees with different convictions. You cannot, you know. There's no we are not an army. You know, we are army or Lord Chaitanya. We are not an army to say you must do this. Everybody has their own path, and everybody is going their own speed or their own way. You know, if somebody is brahmachari and sannyasis, this is different. They have some responsibility. Grihastas, they have their own lives and they can apply as much as they want. There's no, but with brahmacharis, sannyasis, brahmacharis cannot wear a beard or they cannot, they just cannot. They're brahmacharis. Brahmacharis cannot wear long hair. You know, they cannot. There's not a brahmachari. They can wear saffron, but it's not a real brahmachari, and so on and so forth. Sannyasis. But one devotee, I think there was actually Japatakaswal, and in Vrindavan or something like this, and they did wearing the Chaturmasi, the growing beard. And Prabhupada said, shave your beard. He didn't appreciate it. No, Vaishnavas don't have beard. So, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.